Ever bite into something and boom? You're back in 1974, standing in a lunch line with a plastic tray and 35 cents in your pocket. The 1970s school cafeteria wasn't just about food. It was about survival, comfort, and straight-up mystery meat magic. Today, we're diving into 10 cafeteria legends that quietly faded into history. And trust me, some of these would never pass today's nutrition rules. Number 1. Rectangular pizza. Rectangular pizza wasn't just lunch, it was an event. That thick, doughy slab landed perfectly in the square tray slot like it was engineered by NASA. The crust was soft, but somehow crispy on the edges. The tomato sauce tasted a little sweet, a little salty. And that cheese? It stretched just enough to make you feel like you hit the jackpot that day. Cafeteria ladies could crank out hundreds of those trays at once. It was efficient, cheap, and let's be real, loaded with sodium and processed everything. But nobody cared. If you saw that rectangle on the menu board, you knew it was going to be a good day. Funny thing is, some districts tried bringing it back, and kids said it didn't taste the same. Maybe it wasn't just the pizza, maybe it was the metal milk cartons, the noisy lunchroom, and zero responsibilities. And just like that, America's favorite square slice slowly faded off the tray. Number 2. Fish sticks. Fish sticks were the unofficial ruler of Friday lunches. If you grew up in the 70s, you already know. When that cafeteria door swung open and you caught that crispy fried smell in the air, it meant one thing: fish stick day, baby. These golden little bricks were usually made from white fish like cod or pollock, breaded heavily and deep fried until they had that crunch you could hear 3 tables away. On paper, not terrible, decent protein. In reality, fried, salty, and served with a mystery scoop of tartar sauce that half the kids didn't even touch. Some schools pushed them for religious meatless Fridays. Others served them because they were dirt cheap and easy to cook by the hundreds. But let's be honest, you either loved them or traded them. By the late 80s and 90s, nutrition rules tightened up. Less frying, more baked options. And just like that, those crispy cafeteria fish sticks slowly swam off the menu, leaving behind nothing but crumbs and nostalgia. Number 3. Sloppy Joes. Sloppy Joes weren't just lunch, they were a full-contact sport. The moment that soft hamburger bun hit your tray with that steaming pile of saucy ground beef, you knew you were walking into battle. That meat was simmered in a sweet, tangy tomato sauce, sometimes a little smoky, sometimes straight up sugary, depending on who was running the kitchen. Every state swore it was better. Some added green peppers, some onions, some just dumped in whatever was on hand. It wasn't pretty, but man, it hit the spot. Cheap to make, easy to stretch for hundreds of kids, and packed with flavor. Healthy? Not exactly. High fat, high sugar, and guaranteed to drip down your wrist before you even finish the first bite. But here's the thing, the mess was part of the magic. Sloppy Joes felt homemade, like somebody's mom snuck into the cafeteria and took over. Then, schools started worrying about nutrition charts and clean uniforms. And slowly, that gloriously messy sandwich disappeared from the lunch line, leaving behind stained napkins and legendary memories. Number 4. Beef macaroni. Beef macaroni was the ultimate stick-to-your-ribs lunch. When that scoop hit your tray, steaming and heavy, you knew you weren't leaving hungry. It was elbow macaroni mixed with seasoned ground beef and drowned in a thick tomato-based sauce that somehow tasted the same in every state across America. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't gourmet, but it was dependable. Cafeterias loved it because it was cheap, easy to cook in massive metal trays, and could feed a small army on a tight budget. One giant pan could handle an entire grade level. Now let's talk real. It was carb-heavy, beef-heavy, and usually loaded with salt. Nobody in 1976 was counting macros. You ate it, grabbed your milk carton, and headed back to class half asleep from the food coma. But here's what made it special. It felt like comfort food. Like something grandma might make on a cold night. As nutrition standards tightened and processed sauces got side-eyed, beef macaroni slowly slid off the menu. Another tray classic fading into history. Number 5. Bologna Sandwiches. Bologna Sandwiches were the no-frills, no-drama backup plan of the 1970s cafeteria. When budgets were tight or the kitchen was running behind, boom, 2 slices of white bread, a thick round of bologna, maybe a swipe of mustard if you were lucky. That bologna had that smooth, almost rubbery texture with a salty punch that you either loved or learned to tolerate. Some kids folded it, some peeled the edges, and some stacked 2 or 3 slices like they were building a deli masterpiece. Cafeterias loved it because it was dirt cheap and required 0 cooking. Open the pack, slap it on bread, wrap it up, done. But nutritionally, let's just say processed meats and sky-high sodium weren't exactly winning awards. Still, for a lot of kids, that sandwich meant comfort. It was simple, familiar, reliable. As school lunch programs started cracking down on processed meats and pushing healthier protein options, the classic Bologna sandwich quietly got benched. And just like that, one of the most basic cafeteria staples faded into lunchtime legend. Number 6. Jell-O Salad. Jell-O Salad was the wild card of the 1970s lunch tray. One day, it was bright lime green with pineapple chunks floating inside. The next day, it had shredded carrots, maybe even a scoop of cottage cheese suspended in neon red gelatin. Yeah, it was a gamble. Cafeterias loved it because it was cheap, colorful, and could be made in massive trays ahead of time. Just mix the flavored gelatin, toss in whatever fruit or vegetables were on hand, let it set overnight, and slice it into wiggly squares. Kids, half of them grabbed it for the sugar rush. The other half stared at it like it was a science experiment gone wrong. It looked fun, but let's be honest, loaded with added sugar, artificial colors, and syrupy canned fruit. Not exactly the health food poster child. As nutrition standards tightened and artificial dyes started getting the side-eye, Jell-O Salad slowly vanished from school menus. But if you grew up in the 70s, you still remember that jiggle on your tray and wondering what was hiding inside it. Number 7. Corn dogs. Corn dogs were cafeteria gold. The second you saw that stick poking out from under the napkin, you knew it was about to be a solid day. No fork, no knife, just grab it and go. That's freedom right there. That hot dog was dipped in thick cornmeal batter and deep fried until golden brown, crispy on the outside, soft and sweet on the inside, with that salty snap in the middle. Add a zigzag of mustard or ketchup, and you were living large for about $1.25. Cafeterias loved them because they were fast, cheap, and easy to serve in bulk. But nutritionally, let's not kid ourselves. Fried batter, processed meat, sky-high sodium. It was basically a county fair on a tray. When schools started pushing baked options and lower-fat meals in the late 80s and 90s, corn dogs slowly got phased out. But if you grew up in the 70s, that first crunchy bite still hits different in your memory. Number 8. Tapioca Pudding. Tapioca pudding was the quiet kid of the cafeteria dessert table. No flashy colors, no whipped topping mountain, just a small cup filled with creamy pudding and those tiny little pearls floating inside like edible marbles. made by simmering milk, sugar, and tapioca pearls until thick and silky. It had that smooth, comforting texture that felt almost homemade. Some days, you'd get a hint of vanilla, maybe even a dusting of cinnamon if the lunch lady was feeling generous. Now, let's be real. It wasn't exactly health food. Loaded with sugar and whole milk, it leaned more toward dessert than side dish. But compared to neon gelatin and frosted sheet cake, it felt classy. Kids were split on it. Some loved the texture. Others couldn't get past the fish egg look. You either scraped the cup clean or traded it for cookies. As school menus shifted toward pre-packaged snacks and stricter nutrition standards, tapioca pudding slowly disappeared. Number 9. Boiled hot dogs. Before grilling got trendy and before everything had to be artisanal, there were boiled hot dogs, straight out of a giant steaming metal pot behind the cafeteria counter. No char marks, no fancy toppings, just a soft bun, a hot dog that had been simmering in water all morning, and maybe a squeeze of mustard if you were lucky. Boiling was fast, cheap, and perfect for feeding hundreds of kids in one lunch period. The texture, let's just say it was tender, sometimes a little too tender. But when you were starving after dodgeball, you weren't complaining. Nutrition-wise, these things were loaded with sodium and preservatives. But in the 1970s, nobody was reading ingredient labels. You grabbed it, added ketchup, and got back to the playground before the bell rang. As schools shifted toward grilling, baking, and stricter health standards, boiled hot dogs quietly disappeared from the steam trays. Number 10. Spam burgers. Spam burgers were the ultimate budget hero of the 1970s lunchroom. When beef prices climbed, or supplies ran low, cafeterias reached for that blue and yellow can and made magic happen. Slices of Spam were pan-fried until the edges got crispy, then slapped onto a soft bun with maybe a slice of cheese and a squirt of mustard. It wasn't glamorous, but it was salty, savory, and surprisingly satisfying. Spam had already made a name for itself during World War II because it didn't spoil and fed millions. By the 70s, it was still the go-to stretch-the-budget protein. Schools loved it because it was affordable and shelf-stable. No waste, no fuss. Now let's be honest, it was loaded with sodium and fat. Processed pork and ham pressed into a block? Yeah, not winning any health awards. As nutrition awareness grew and fresh meat options became more available, Spam burgers slowly vanished from school menus. But for a whole generation, that crispy-edged slice on a bun still screams old-school cafeteria, comfort. So tell me, which one of these cafeteria classics would you bring back tomorrow? And which one deserves to stay buried in 1975? Drop your favorite in the comments. Hit that subscribe button for more forgotten American food legends, and I'll see you next time. Right back in the lunch line.